awake after last night. Okay, very quickly, I will run you through three different projects. The first one is called Highway 27 in Gujarat. Here, the government in Gujarat wanted to make a series of motels all across the highway where there are no facilities. So this is located in Disa village, which is along Highway 27. And as you can see in the Google map, there's hardly any inhabitation, and all of it is in the form of rural houses. So our site is located here, and that's a close-up. And it's an L-shaped site. And what has been happening in India over the last so many years is hotels like this, which are so generic in nature and don't respond to the climate or the country, are being constructed everywhere. So we looked, like yesterday, this was a favorite structure even during college time, and I remember second year of college had done something, so I thought this was a very perfect example of how one can create something that is contextual, at the same time very sustainable in this location. So there is a reason for these. So this circular construction, what happens is, this is an earthquake zone, and the circular form gives out these, it's very, very stable. So this is our site. It's an L-shaped site with a smaller mouth in the beginning and a larger space at the back, and there is a natural water body towards the end on the northern side. So we've basically allocated the spaces like this, that the public spaces, which is the petrol pump and the restaurant, will be available for travelers around the main road, and just 5 motel rooms towards the rear based on the brief that was given to us. So there's a reception block and a petrol pump, and then the water body, which we decided to expand. Now, what is very interesting in this is the section. So I'll just go back one slide. That's the existing water body. And if you keep looking at the section simultaneously, what we've done is expanded the existing water body. And that same earth then goes into the building of these walls, because all of it is in adobe construction. And after that, it is wrapped in a series of bamboo screens and bamboo framework for the bamboo roof. So this is the overall site. And that's the detail of the restaurant block, the petrol pump, and the rooms towards the rear. This is the petrol pump, all of it being constructed in bamboo and thatch, along with adobe construction. So something very close to nature, very, very sustainable, built out of materials that are available right there on the site itself, and contextual in terms of structural stability towards the kind of earthquake resistance that we needed to have. That's a study on the various kinds of walls and what they do, and adobe actually reduces the temperature by 9 degrees. And then, as opposed to the typical bunny house, which has a very slight projection in the roof, we've expanded on that because adobe construction needs to be protected from the water. And so these bamboo overhangs are much larger than they are in the regional contextual bunny villages. And that offers an additional protection as well as reduced heat gain. The second project is Prestige University. It's a university that we are building in Indore right now. And this is the site. As opposed to most sites where you have a road frontage on one side, 2 sides, maybe 3 sides or 4 sides if you're lucky, we actually have a tiny mouth where you enter. So when you drive in, you will only see a portion, and then finally the entire building comes into focus. So we started with the requirements. The requirements for this first building within the campus is 400,000 square feet. And when you try to do 400,000 square feet, you'll end up with something that is 8 floors high, and 50% of the area is landscaped. So we said, let's expand this, keep it low-rise because it's a university. There are going to be finally 5,000 students here. And for them to use vertical circulation all the time is not such a good idea, so it should always be horizontal. But what happens in that is, A, the landscape got reduced. And B, when you see the light penetration is only up to 8 meters. So there is no light penetration to the whole center of the building. So then we said, okay, so then you do a courtyard. So that way you increase the light penetration. But what happens when you do that is the landscape is still further reduced within the site. And then instead of doing a single courtyard, we said let's split it up into multiple courtyards all through so that every portion of this building has a different experience with it. And then based on the organic streets that all our Indian cities have, there is a crisscrossing of organic streets running through this within a grid. And then finally, we had to eventually give access to the next building that is going to come up, which is slightly angled towards the rear. So the whole pedestrian path is split up into this building in a series of 2 and 3 floor volumes going diagonally across. But now what has happened by doing all of this, the landscape got reduced to a tiny strip. And that made us feel really bad that, you had such a large site, but just simply because the requirements were so large, but you want to give natural light to everything, and the eventual result is that you got this tiny strip of landscape. So this is what we did as a next step. You take the front portion down and the rear portion slightly high and make the entire site into a landscape space which is accessible to everyone. So the entire site, in a sense, becomes a garden. And within these courtyards, there are intermediate terraces at different levels within the 4 levels of the university. And the entire building is wrapped with a jali screen to reduce the heat even more. So this is the building program. Also, very important thing in this is that this was the first building which is finally going to be only an administrative building in a 35 acres that they have finally bought at the back. So we had to make something that was really flexible because in this building, which is finally going to be an admin building, today when they are starting, they want to start with classrooms and seminar halls and all of that. So it had to be modular in that sense that these classrooms would finally move out to a classroom building, and this would eventually become only administrative. So this is the program based on all that mix that we got and how the building steps back with it, creating all these different kind of spaces and different volumes interspersed with courtyards. And now what is very interesting is, in fact, this is the most interesting part of the building, other than the whole roof being accessible, is that at every point, the perception of volume changes throughout. So keep looking at the section as we cut it. The sections themselves become so graphic because the volume at every single point in this building is constantly changing. So you are somewhere in 15 feet, 30 feet, 45 feet, and 60 feet, depending upon where you are. So every space is interconnected with courtyards, natural light, natural air, and constantly changing. So that's the floor plan. Very large auditorium, very large cafeteria, and then the building steps back. These are all modular classrooms which will finally move out, and these will become administrative spaces. And then finally the topmost floor, which is the reduced footprint. And so the whole building is a landscape garden which will become an open auditorium capable of actually taking people from the entire university, all 5,000 students on top, for any kind of large seminar, rock show, entertainment, and all of that. These are cross sections through the building, showing how natural light comes in this diffused form in each part of the building. And that's the building as it will be seen eventually, gradually stepping up to the 4th level and completely accessible. This is the entry and the internal spaces. This is the large pedestrian diagonal walkway that is created, interspersed with courtyards at every single point, with bridges that connect across. So at each point, you're seeing something different in terms of volume, in terms of quality of light and air. And that's the building as it is now. The building has been constructed, and the interiors are in progress. So this is a resort, which we're doing in Jaisalmer, that is starting next month. Jaisalmer is known as the city of gold, and of course, the beautiful Jaisalmer stone that we all use. And these are the images that come to mind when you think of Jaisalmer, along with the sand dunes. So our inspiration for this project was the sand dunes and the organic way the whole city is. So this is the organic path which is within the city, and how the sand dunes gave rise to the first concept sketch that was finally translated into the way the buildings have been designed. So this is the overall layout. There are 250 units, some of which are ground plus one, some of which are ground only. And the public spaces are all towards the left-hand side. The entry, again, here is by a single mouth on the top, on the northwest, northeast. These are floor plans of the reception building with the restaurant, the entry point, the banquet hall, and finally the cluster of all the units, the villa units, ground plus one. So there's a mix of 2, 4, 6, and singular. These are the floor plans. And as it steps back, and all of this is going to be done in Adobe Construction, whereas the large main buildings will be done in shotcrete. So just some more views of, here again, because of the organic character, at every point you will experience something different within the entire 45 acres. It's all going to be built very, very sustainably. That's an open auditorium based on the step wells that we have in India in the region. So that brings me to an end, and this is just a few interesting projects that we are starting now. This is a very, very small project. In fact, the built-up area is only 5,000 square feet. So it's smaller than a lot of bungalows. And here what we're doing is scooping out the earth, taking this whole, it's a memorial with the children's library for the village children of Nokha in Rajasthan, which is a small village. So he's scooping out the earth and letting people go in there as a meditative, contemplative space inside. And the same earth is used to create a berm on the southern side. So the entire building is oriented towards the north. In addition, you have stone screens which mitigate the heat gain into the building, and it'll be completely naturally ventilated. And it's a very small site, and that's why we made the entire roof accessible for the children, so you can just ramp up, walk up and down. It's a tiny project. This is a large house that we are constructing right now in Rajasthan, which is being built in the local sandstone of Rajasthan, where all the screens, the pergolas, all of it is solid stone. Everything is being done with the gap walls to reduce the heat gain. So you're actually looking at all the traditional planning principles. Just to go back for a second, it's a series of courtyards everywhere. Every room opens into a sheltered outdoor space. So this house is already up now, and when you experience it even on site, you can feel that the heat reduction from the outside to the inside is huge. And this is a village school that we're doing in Nokha for the girls. It's a girls' village school in Nokha, which is starting construction next month. It's like this whole courtyard space which is open, and the site actually negotiates a level difference of 5.5 meters from the bottom till the top. And the first reaction of the client was that should we level the site before you want to start work? We said, no, please do not touch the site and let the natural contours be. We will incorporate that into the design. So the building as it starts is just ground floor, and then as you go further, it's also ground floor, but that ground floor is elevated to the first floor height. And then here again, the roof is made completely accessible because it's a 1 acre site. So we thought that the maximum amount of space that you give to the children would be better for them and create spaces. And this is the last thing. It's a yoga center which is being constructed completely in bamboo and thatch. which is in a location called Khardi in Maharashtra. And within the same project, we're doing this temple, which is an exposed brick and has a series of little courtyards surrounding the main shrine, so that within this tiny site, you actually get to experience light, shadow, cool spaces, water prior to reaching the shrine. Thank you very much for your attention.